Yo, what up, YouTube? What up, what up, what up? It's not. And coming back with another episode. I really was done with these or whatever. But I want to put this out there for anybody going through the stretch. If these videos re-upload next life cycle or whatever. Dating apps, man. When you get on dating apps, it's a lot of traps and scams on there. And oftentimes, these dating apps are regulated by artificial intelligence, AI, that come from DeepMind. DeepMind is, I believe, coincide with the Brain Initiative, where Obama apologized for spying to a degree on the U.S. public. For the Brain Initiative, in which scientists had not yet studied from a living brain rather than a cadaver brain. So they wanted to study the live human brain. So what do you think they had to do? We had chemtrails at that time and increasing the Wi-Fi grid, and people started to get more Morgellons, which was a case where it looked like wires was growing beneath their skin, which I correlate with the Marvel series where Cable and the technological virus that he had to fight off using telepathy. All right. And they didn't know what Morgellons was or anything like that, but it came after the chemtrails. So did targeted individuals, and we had a lot more cases of what people would call voice to skull or Havana syndrome. And then COVID came as a huge distraction, the pestilence. And I believe that artificial intelligence targeted as pertaining to DeepMind, which is the living human brain initiated by the Brain Initiative, into these supercomputers or smart computers, like the one in Texas is called the Beast, and the one in New York is called Watson, and the one in China is called Tianhe, Rivers of Heaven. And these also will correlate with the supercomputers that are elsewise in the earth, because there are many other ones. This is quantum D-wave computing, and these computers are so quick that they can perceive or do computations quicker than you can think. And allegedly in spontaneity is how fast these computers are, allegedly. So you got to think that's got to be like light processing speeds. This is quantum computing and technology. Anyways, these dating apps, all right, a lot of these things with targeting ads, and these dating apps are regulated by this same artificial intelligence that is able to provide you a stream to your consciousness, and your technology, ads that pertain to your interests that you may have thought of that you didn't search for on the internet. Okay? So the same thing goes into these dating apps. In order to gather customers and what have you, you have many of these profiles, and many of these profiles will be false. Okay? There will be artificially deep fake profiles and what have you for gathering information of the public when people are trying to meet to get your personal information for trap and gather. In other words, either to send you a date if you have resources, and if you don't have resources, get your information, because this stretch of time in this dimension or realm is where people fall. Okay? It is the trial. So a lot of it is scams and what have you. A lot of these profiles have interesting photographs that look like they were old pictures, and it looked like kind of obituary like, or when you see unsolved mysteries, like when they do UFOs, like gritty and grainy. not up to date, or if they're up to date, the photo will look, you know, it'll be a photograph that has lots of trash or clothes. The person be living rough, man. And they take the photograph that's not the best photograph. These are real individuals that's going through it, possibly just like maybe any other individual going through this stretch of time. Um, but it's definitely not photographs that an individual of common mind would take for some type of dating app. You know what I'm saying? So it bears into reason how these individuals think and how they're living, what type of spirits they have. Okay? Uh, you're gonna take a photo for a dating app. You're gonna take a good photo to a certain degree. These photos are janky. It's the only way, like super, like over the top. Like I'm not even trying. In fact, I'm particularly not trying. A lot of these individuals, when you get through these horrible photos, they'll put in these photos that are highly glamorized as if they were taken by a professional photographer for the dating app, in composition to these janky photos to draw the attention of the viewer. These are false photos or traps or AI generated that generally wants you to go to a different site to register your information for marketing means only. Okay, or it's an individual that is working. A lot of these individuals are working. In other words, it's for some type of barter or trade, not for the sake of having any type of relationship whatsoever. They come with very unrealistic demands, especially based on to have such demands, but pertain such etiquette to your or care to your photograph, are so exceedingly contradictory, and the profile and the nature and speech that the profile is written in does not match the characters that is in the photo. So therefore, it is as if a handler or a boule or the same boule with the same 3 to 4 personalities is writing the profile information for each of these photos. So this goes to show you that the information on the internet may not be correct or tampered with. Um, if you see uh, a black girl and you know what I'm saying, the profile about me section sounds like super white. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's no way this individual wrote this profile situation. So there is an intermediary between your internet and the real life world, or a gatekeeper, which I assume to be the Masons or the Boule and what have you. And then they will put out these photos that look like realistic photos to some degree, but it's taking of highly attractive people next to these individuals that have janky photos as if they're not trying, and professional photos, which is super digitized, to something in between that is something that is attractable or feasible to the target. Um, these individuals are like used car salesmen or waster spirits that will give you the runaround if possibly necessary, and they are generally on there for work and different means of work. Oftentimes, what we would conclude as extraterrestrial spirits, but as the Bible would conclude as spirits itself. Okay, doesn't matter what type of spirit one would perceive them as, but just as some type of spirit that is not in the nature of human. Um, these mate oftentimes for different needs. All right. Um, so the dynamic of dating apps is regulated by AI for marketing means, more specifically, and getting involved with them will lead you to jumping through hoops or going into some type of trap um, that is outside the means of what the application was created for in the beginning. So it is, oftentimes evil fruit or not good fruit, because the connotation or intention that is presented in is false. All right. Not to mention that the intention in which one would use them will also be in question to a certain degree as well. All right. Um, I would warn against this, okay, during this stretch of time, or if you come across this video, not predominantly to engage in any of these things, because they are oftentimes scams, near to 100% degree. These are trapping resources pertaining to individuals and their resources that can be recontracted out for contractual agreement and favors pertaining to masonry, to get more resources into the fold to a mothership or a UFO, in which houses many individuals, oftentimes set in caves or different containers which are throughout the earth. These individuals are gathered either for some type of sexual slavery or financial gain, and given the needs that they are needed. So they are oftentimes pimped out in a type of severance. This is what you call when many individuals get soul snatched. And pertain to the mind, all right? Pertaining if one is able to eclipse your will, okay, which is done through some type of spiritual way, oftentimes pertain to sex, but not always necessarily. They call these archons, okay? But I would say that most of the internet is regulated, and the information you get is regulated by deep mind, or quantum computing that's coming from one of these supercomputers that has a certain portion of your mind, okay, which has been studied by the Brain Initiative to foster or facilitate your information down to the dating apps. In which, if you meet a person, you were meant to meet them, for better or worse. But it has been regulated by a third party, all right, against your knowing. That's what I would suggest. That's what it looks like to me. And other things, and other topics, talk about Donald Trump said an executive order for the United States to get a bunch of shit done in a single day. And he demands this thing. So this is a big push or a big move for a single president to get, 7 to 8 things done in a single day, guaranteed, considering changing of laws and legislature and what have you. I mean, when Trump was coming up, he was like the Heisman Trophy winner of knocking over all those legal cases, of which he had 31 more to go, and becoming the United States president, which would put all of those cases to wait or at rest, or cold cases. So he managed to escape that. He has been like a King David of such, a conqueror. His son's name is Baron, which has German roots. They are time travelers. His wife is a Palladian. Okay? So, it was always meant for him to be president. That's why I shifted the interest to Kamala Harris, but I was telling you before that it's going to be Trump no matter what. And now he is in there, and he's looking like one of those Antichrist figures. But anyways, he's going to get all these things done and compromise to any other presidents. All right, and these means quick decisions. Okay, is what I'm getting at. And this, he's going to change the tax tariffs, which is going to put pressure on the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, this is not in aid of the Federal Reserve Bank, but to bring in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. That's what it looks like. If it's going to tax the Federal Reserve, it is to collapse the currency system and to bring in Bitcoin. That's what it looks like, at least. He's doing great things. Maybe he's going to cause peace as well, as Trump always comes in as some type of superhero or Superman figure. But we can't forget about January 6th. You see what I'm saying? There are certain spiritual hallmarks and traditions in which are reignited which are not healthy oftentimes when Trump comes into office. So we will see how it goes. I'm not judging the man. I'm just saying we will see how it goes. Elon Musk, for his company X, is selling shares of its debt for people to have a stake in the company. 95 cents on the dollar. This is a very smart business move. Okay? Brilliant. It's a brilliant business move. The dude is a fucking genius. 1000%. Anyways, man, that's all the topics I wanted to talk about with you. Peace and blessings be with you all. Them dating apps, be very fucking careful. You understand? I'm not saying that it's impossible. You know, if you on that Reaper Lord shit, then, you know, all shit's the same. I'm not gonna act like you fucking naive or fucking not gonna do your thing or whatever you're gonna do. I'm just gonna say be very cautious, because this pertains to getting your information, and many of these individuals in which would seem to have resources, how would they have those resources based on those photos? Those photos look played out in like obituaries taken from an old camera. And if you got those resources, you got bread to take better photos with a better camera than an old cell phone like mine. So therefore, you have to be connected to government agencies, therefore putting you out like pimps for resources to collect from individuals that's barely surviving inflated prices, going to grocery stores, nigga. You gotta be a snitch or a rat, often trapping many of these individuals with ages in which you'd have to ask or question their age. They might be pizza. Trapping pedophilia type offers in which you have to ask for IDs. What you doing on an 18 up site, lying in plausible deniabilities in which your consciousness can't rest. And either way, if you do it, a thorn. Done with intentional entrapments, in which is done so sloppy, it would suggest that human consciousness has been dumbed down to a point that they would make dumb decisions as a drunkard, in which they do sober. There's a lot of government testing and minority report and entrapment of innocent individuals and reaping of resources. These niggas must be angels from UFOs, these stars, oh my. Be careful when you get online, nigga. 1000.